I'm back and today I'm going to be reviewing Dragons the Nine Realms Season 4. What a season! I already reviewed the first episode, so if you want to see that, I'm gonna put it as a link in the description, but today I'm going to be reviewing the second, third, and fourth episode. I wanted to make this in like one video, like just reviewing the whole season, but there's so much to say about the finale, so I'm gonna keep that for a little bit later. First, I want to talk about the characters, though, and how I feel about them at this moment. So, Alex is still my favorite. I feel like they just can't ruin her. She's always funny. She is amazing. She is just, no matter how stupid the show sometimes is, Alex is always the best, and I just love her so much. Tom is okay. Not really bad. I have nothing bad to say. He has some kind of dumb moments, but I'll point that out later. He's not too bad. So D'Angelo exists. I think he's an okay character. I don't really have anything to complain about him. He never really annoys me, which is good. June is also quite nice. I like she out of the whole team, I feel like she has a lot of emotional complexity. Also, Alex does. I feel like D'Angelo is quite simple, and Tom, they're trying to give him some more complexity, but at some points it just feels weird. And Eugene is just annoying at this point. I don't know, I hoped that he wouldn't just be like this annoying guy who's always with the group. But I guess now, yeah, he did join, and I guess he's now just the comic relief character, but like the most annoying type of comic relief character you can get. Like, I tried to like this guy. I tried to just, like, at first he wasn't even bad, but now that he joined, he is such a one-note character. He just, oh, he wants to be the leader, and he always talks about that, and then he fails in a comedic way, ha ha ha, and never stops. He had potential, they wasted that potential, and I do not like him anymore, and I would prefer if he wasn't in the group. There's one good side of him, though. I will get to that a bit later. Then we have Leonard. I think that I have said a lot about Leonard already, and I'll still continue to talk about him, but for now I'll just say I hate Leonard from the bottom of my soul. He's the most annoying villain in basically any show I've watched this far. Maybe there was someone worse, but I can't remember right now. I just hate Leonard. Then we have Tom's mom. She is still quite likable, doesn't really get too much screen time. There's also that evil lady, I don't know what her name is. She appears like for a little bit and then doesn't, which, whatever, I honestly don't care. And honestly, many of the side characters didn't get like any screen time, which I am not complaining about. I never particularly liked the side characters, and it doesn't help that their animations are even worse. Which is actually a good segue to the problems of the season. So, animation. Animation still sucks, and no matter how much, I've kind of gotten used to it at this point, but I feel like I have to say it, animation is so bad. The models are so stiff sometimes. There's just, it's kind of painful to watch. And honestly, the dragon designs are just bad as well. I said this before, like, all of the new dragons, I would argue, except Feathers, have bad animations and just don't look that good. Even Thunder, just, I don't know, his model is not the best and the animations are very often just bleh. So yeah, I do not like the new ones. And I have to point out this one hilarious scene in which June kind of like falls down with her dragon, but it looks like it's in slow motion.
Whoa, wait, watch out!
Next thing is, I don't know if the authors really know this, but dragons aren't supposed to understand English. And I feel like in the series, there's too many moments in which somebody says something on English, and the dragons just know exactly what they're talking about. Like, the dragons understand everything. And also one thing that really annoys me is which every time there's like a new dragon that's gonna come in an episode, they have to tease it like 100 times before they show up. Like every now and then you would have like maybe even up to 3 times in an episode, you would just have like, oh, the main crew doing something or something like that, and then the screen goes over and you have like a little teaser with like, I don't know, the dragon's foot coming or something like that. It's like, ooh, what's this dragon gonna be? But after you tease it so many times, it's not exciting anymore. And I do want to point out some good things, like for example, I feel like the voice actors are really doing a good job. I don't think I've ever had a moment where I was like, okay, this voice acting just sounds so off, it doesn't make sense. I think the voice actors are doing it well, it's just they don't have much to work with. I am still interested in the story overall, like what will happen to the dragons, and I feel like also another highlight is some of the character interactions are really what's keeping me watching this. But now let's get into the episodes, and we have episode 2, and this thing gave me false hope. This episode, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10. This episode is the definition of a good episode of Dragons the Nine Realms. It is great. So the beginning, not bad at all. They're just researching, they're trying to find Leonard, and they're also like trying to find the key to that mystery thingamabob box thing that Tom has. I don't know, I never really cared what was inside, but they are trying to find it, and Tom is very obsessed about it still. I just can't with this fur prop. Like, it is a solid piece of fur. It is hilarious. And then we get some potential for the story, so Feathers doesn't actually like that disgusting abomination dragon that's in the group. It's called Webmaster. I do not like how long it is, like the name, it just doesn't roll off the tongue, so I'll call it Abomination. And you know, if somebody likes that thing and thinks it's cute, good for you, but I cannot stand it. But we have this kind of plot that the dragons don't really like each other, and that, like, Alex doesn't particularly like Eugene either, and this can be fun. They go in to explore that cave, and when they get out, Feathers and the Abomination are not there anymore. And this is fun because then, suddenly, Tom is like, okay, now we gotta go, we can search for them tomorrow, and June joins in that as well, which I feel like it creates some nice tension because it's like, oh yeah, Tom, now you wanna go, but when you had to search for your dumb key, then you didn't wanna go because there's like a storm coming and it's kinda dangerous, but oh, it's like, oh, now you wanna go when their dragons are gone. But let's be honest, if Thunder was gone, Tom would not leave. And rightfully so, Alex and Eugene are kind of upset about this. Oh, but I like this scene where kind of Feathers and the Abomination, they kind of bond, and I like this scene because there's no talking. There's no people here. It's just the dragons interacting and some music, and the music is quite nice and soothing. I don't know, I really liked it. I don't think we've had something like this in this show, where it was just such a calm, nice moment. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. But god, the wood prop, oh my god, I cannot with the fact that that wood is just, oh, it's like the fur thing. And we have a very good scene between Alex and Eugene as well, in which they kind of talk about all of this and like how they kind of, I like that Alex was pointing out that like she was the last one who they told about the dragons, and it's basically just because Feathers followed her, and Eugene like knows that they don't really even want him to be in the crew. So both of them have this kind of shared feeling of not really belonging as much as the other three. And I think this is a very nice thing to bond over. And this is what I was talking about with Eugene. Eugene is an annoying character. I do not like him. But when he's interacting with Alex, somehow he becomes a good character. He's calmer. He is still kind of his dumb self, but like in an actually okay way. And Alex suggests that they should look for their dragons, which it's interesting that it was Alex's idea, and like the rest of the crew also didn't believe that it was Alex's idea, but she said like, yes, I thought of this, like, don't blame Eugene, which, I don't know, I like their friendship. And it was a very nice confrontation between Alex and Eugene and the rest of the group, because Tom had to admit that yes, it was basically his fault. He wanted them to stay for longer because he wanted to find that stupid key. He put everyone in danger, and then when the dragons disappeared, he needed to, like, you know, that was the moment where he realized they needed to go, but that was the wrong moment. Then we have this, like, semi-ugly looking dragon. I don't know, I don't like the nose. And then the dragon tries to destroy the cave, but, like, why? Why? Wouldn't that, like, hurt the dragon too? Like, what? What? Sorry if this review is a bit chaotic, because usually I try to go through every like important plot point and comment on that, but this time I've decided, you know what, I'm only gonna talk about the parts that I actually want to talk about. Episode 3, this one gets a 4 out of 10, it would get 5 out of 10 if it didn't ruin the emotional moment. So they're chasing the evil dragons again. I am so sick of every dragon that appears to, like, being evil. It's very annoying, and I don't want it anymore. And oh my god, Eugene is so annoying in this episode. Wu and Wei are fighting this fiery thing, but why is June the one being like so like loudly struggling when the dragon is doing all the work? She's just sitting there. So Wu and Wei get very hurt from this for some reason. Like, I feel like it's never truly explained in this episode why is this the thing that like makes them very hurt. And then June remembers some myth about this dragon king or something like that, and he had some sons and lost his breath because they were mean or something. I don't really care, but it matters for June's character later, so I gotta mention it. But the trip in this episode, like most of it is so boring, so I do not even want to comment on it. But there is some nice tension between Tom and June, because like June is very like firmly believing that this myth can like help them in this journey, but Tom is mostly like very skeptical. I mean, most of the group is skeptical, but Tom like the most. And I think they have a very nice like emotional conversation, like this kind of fight in which June is just saying like, you're not the first person that called me crazy for believing in myths. And it did make me tear up. It was a nice moment. And then it immediately got ruined because everybody just completely did a 180 and was like, okay, we trust you now. It's just so strange that they came from being like so skeptical to just immediately turning around and being like, okay, well, you know what, if you believe, we believe. Episode 2 definitely did this way better. And then this absolutely infuriating scene with this big dragon, just put Wu and Wei in that goddamn hole and let's be done with it. This plays out for so long. Like, the dragon just holds Wu and Wei, and then they're like, oh, is he gonna help? And then they start like, oh, because he picks up Wu and Wei, they're like, oh no, the big dragon's actually evil, and then they start attacking him, but then they realize it's not evil, and then they protect him. And this whole time, the big dragon is just holding Wu and Wei, when it could have easily just put him in that goddamn hole, and let's just all go home. It drags out for so long. Stupid scene, stupid scene. And it doesn't even make sense on the end, because it just, there's like this, I guess, hot springs or something like that. Or is the water magic? Is the mist magic? How did this even happen? Why are Wu and Wei even sick? Like, why? How did they? Is this like their family maybe? But why? What is here that healed them? Is it the water? Is it the mist? How did they know about this? How does anything make sense anymore? I think the episode doesn't really want us to think about it too much, but I want to know because they set up this plot and the payoff sucks. But yeah, not the worst. As I said, 4 out of 10. But then we come to episode 4. I have to say that this episode is probably the worst out of all of them. In all of the 4 seasons that this show has currently, this one is the worst. 1 out of 10, and that 1 point is for the stupidity. It's impressively dumb. And I just have to emotionally and physically prepare myself for this. Let's just start. So Leonard exists. In this whole entire episode, he is very important, and I hate it so much. You know, I don't think I have ever seen an episode this badly structured, and it really, like, there's so many plot holes, and it really does not help that Leonard is one of the main focuses. So there's this stupid whistle that he made because he can carve things out, and that whistle can call dragons. Okay, now I'm gonna do a small rant. So we have these magic cages. They're not really magic, but I call them magic cages because this is the most stupid thing in this whole show. So these cages, they look like they're made out of ice, right? So the way that I think that he could have made them is like maybe he brought like water, like hot water, and then poured it down. But these cages, there's so many of them, they're so big, it would have taken so long to make, they're made out of ice. You are telling me that a terrible terror can't bite through ice. And even if he did make them, how long would that take? Like, there's... oh my god! I don't think I can express how much I hate these cages. When I first saw them, I was like, are you serious? Is this like a serious thing? What? It really is impressively dumb. And then there's this stupid trap in which, like, Tom and Thunder, like, they try to get the whistle when Leonard is not there, and they pick up the whistle, and somehow that triggers a trap? Like, the whistle was just on a rock. How did he make a system in which, when you pick it up, a cage falls down?
Thunder, no!
And just Thunder can break through it. We literally see this in the next episode, that Thunder can easily break through that, so I guess that confirms it is just ice. But you know what they use as an excuse of why Thunder can't break out? Oh, because he might hurt it might hurt the Timberjack, which obviously it's not that dragon's fault that it's like being controlled. Also, let me just ask, how is that Timberjack? Like, it's tied with a rope. Timberjacks literally cut through trees with their wings. So you can be like, oh, I guess maybe it's the whistle. But why? Like, okay, the whistle, obviously the dragon doesn't like it. So wouldn't it make more sense to, I don't know, cut the rope and just fly away? I don't think that whistle has mind control. Or I don't know, the dragon can just eat Leonard. I mean, the dragon did try to like bite him multiple times, but are you telling me that that giant dragon was not able to just bite that dude's head off? Or I don't know, maybe slice him with your wing, or crush him, or anything really? I'm starting to think that this dragon is just dumb and maybe deserves to be captured. And yeah, that's basically why Thunder can't break out. He can't, fire the cage because that could hurt the dragon. But just fire in the opposite direction? Like, if you just fire on the side that the dragon isn't at, they can easily get out. They're treating this if it's like a moment of, oh no, Tom and Thunder got captured, what will they do? What do you mean, what will they do? Even Tom can break ice! And even better, these cages have an opening system, which still makes no sense. The door opens like magically, even though you're gonna tell me that Tom wasn't able to just do that, if there's literally a way out, just pull it up.
Okay, Buzzsaw, let's get to work. You have a lot to learn.
It makes no sense how that even opens. These cages make no sense. And then Tom tries to take the whistle from Leonard. He has this whole thing in which he manages to get Leonard to let him out because, oh, I can teach you how to ride a dragon, because Leonard wants to be the king of dragons or something. And it is so mind-numbing. I felt like I died inside too many times in this episode. And then it's just this absolutely whistle horror mind game in which Tom is trying to get it from Leonard, but each time he just doesn't manage to get it, even though he could just reach for it, take it, and be done with it. And then Tom and Leonard go ride the dragon, and I really just give up. Leonard tries to murder Tom, so that's the attempted murder of a child, so yeah, this guy definitely is insane. But I feel like I knew that already. And then blah blah, Tom gets the whistle, yay. And then the dragon flies away, but Leonard is attached to it, so is Leonard finally dead now? Can we just leave that guy in the past and never talk about him? Did the dragon just eat him? Please tell me the dragon ate him. And then Eugene tells Tom that he's a good leader, even though Tom clearly failed. He failed, but then it somehow worked out. His plan didn't work, he just got lucky, so I do not understand that. And honestly, I feel like no matter how much I talk about how I hate this episode, I don't think I still did it justice. I think if you want to and are able to, please go watch it for yourself, and you're gonna see how absolutely stupid it is. I feel like calling this episode a stupid episode from the series is actually an insult to other stupid episodes of this series. I really wanted to believe in this show, but I think that I was right when I said this season was gonna suck, cause it really does. And I'm glad some people from my comment section really love this season. Good for you guys. Please do not let me ruin your experience of watching it. If you like it, great, but I just cannot stand this. So why am I even watching this show anymore? I think that's something I'll explain when I react to the finale. Because I did ask that question to myself a few times. But yeah, anyways, that would be pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this sad video, and bye.